Is Pakistan secretly developing missile systems with the intent to target Israel? This question has been making the rounds for years, particularly whenever the United States imposes sanctions on Pakistan's missile program. Each time these sanctions come to light, the speculation resurfaces. But are these rumors grounded in reality, or is this merely a product of geopolitical paranoia? To understand this, we need to delve deeper into Pakistan's missile program, US sanctions, the regional dynamics of South Asia, and whether there's any truth behind the idea that Pakistan is building missiles to specifically target Israel. First, let's take a look at the origins and purpose of Pakistan's missile program. From the outset, Pakistan's missile development has been closely tied to its national security objectives, primarily revolving around its rivalry with neighboring India. The arms race between the two countries, both nuclear-armed, has its roots in historical conflicts that have defined their relationship since independence in 1947. Pakistan has consistently viewed India as its primary threat, given their multiple wars and ongoing border disputes, particularly over Kashmir. When India conducted nuclear tests in 1998, it significantly altered the security landscape of the region. Pakistan responded with its own tests, but the need for a credible delivery mechanism became more urgent. This is where Pakistan's missile program took on new importance. Its missile arsenal was, and still is, primarily designed to serve as a deterrent against Indian aggression. From short-range ballistic missiles like the HAT series to the longer-range Shaheen and Gauri missiles, each development in Pakistan's missile program has been part of a broader strategy to ensure that it maintains its second strike capability, the ability to respond to an Indian nuclear attack with a counterstrike. But why does the US seem so concerned about Pakistan's missile program, and how does this lead to sanctions? The answer lies in Washington's fears about missile technology proliferation and the potential for these weapons to fall into the wrong hands. Pakistan has long been under suspicion for its collaboration with countries like North Korea and China, both of whom are accused of helping Pakistan enhance its missile capabilities. This collaboration has led to repeated US sanctions under the guise of counter-proliferation measures. For Washington, the concern isn't just about Pakistan's regional dynamics with India but also about the broader implications of a missile technology race in South Asia. The United States wants to prevent the spread of missile technology, particularly in regions where stability is fragile. South Asia, with its history of conflict, is a key area of concern. The sanctions are part of the US policy to limit the spread of missile technology under the Missile Technology Control Regime, MTCR. These sanctions, it should be noted, are more about preventing the spread of missile technology and less about punishing Pakistan for any specific actions related to Israel. This brings us to the real question: where does the speculation about Pakistan targeting Israel come from? The origins of this theory are complex and somewhat rooted in Pakistan's foreign policy, which historically has supported the Palestinian cause. As a Muslim-majority country, Pakistan has maintained a staunchly pro-Palestine stance and has, at times, taken a hard line against Israel. Pakistan is one of the few countries in the world that does not officially recognize Israel, and this has fueled speculation that Pakistan's military capabilities, including its missile program, might one day be used against Israel in defense of Palestine or to support other Muslim-majority nations in their opposition to Israel. In the Muslim world, Pakistan's defense capabilities, especially its nuclear arsenal, are seen as a source of pride and a symbol of resistance against Western and Israeli influence in the region. Some countries have even reportedly approached Pakistan for strategic support, with rumors that Saudi Arabia could rely on Pakistan's nuclear umbrella if necessary. This has contributed to the belief that Pakistan's missiles are not just a deterrent against India but could be used in defense of other Muslim nations, particularly in a scenario involving Israel. However, there is little to no concrete evidence to suggest that Pakistan has developed or is developing missile systems with Israel in mind as a primary target. The relationship between Pakistan's missile development and its geopolitical stance is far more nuanced. Pakistan's military leadership has consistently emphasized that its missile program is aimed at ensuring the country's security and sovereignty, with a clear focus on the threat posed by India. There has been no official statement or credible intelligence report indicating that Pakistan's missile program is oriented towards targeting Israel. Despite this, the fear of Pakistan's missile technology falling into the wrong hands, or being used by rogue elements, remains a persistent concern for the United States. This is particularly important when we consider Pakistan's history with non-state actors and militant groups. While the Pakistani government maintains strict control over its nuclear and missile assets, the possibility of these technologies being transferred, either intentionally or unintentionally, to actors hostile to Israel cannot be entirely dismissed. This is why the US continues to impose sanctions, ensuring that Pakistan's missile technology does not proliferate beyond its borders or end up threatening Israel or other US allies in the Middle East. Another dimension to this issue is Pakistan's relationship with China, which has played a significant role in helping Pakistan develop its missile technology. The US has often viewed China's assistance with suspicion, worrying that Beijing might be using Pakistan as a proxy to challenge US interests in South Asia and the broader Middle East. China, which has its own complex relationship with Israel, particularly in the area of military and technological exchanges, might not want to see a direct conflict between Pakistan and Israel. Nevertheless, the perception that Pakistan could be a tool for China's broader strategic objectives persists in Washington, contributing to the sanctions and the speculation about Israel as a potential target. Furthermore, the sanctions themselves can be seen as part of the broader US-Israel relationship. The US is Israel's closest ally, and Washington's foreign policy is deeply influenced by its commitment to ensuring Israel's security. While Pakistan's missile program may not directly threaten Israel, the US cannot ignore the potential for these advanced weapons to be used against its key ally in the Middle East. Even the slightest possibility that Pakistan's missile technology could end up in the hands of Israel's adversaries is enough to justify American sanctions, at least from Washington's perspective. Let's also consider the broader context of Middle Eastern geopolitics. While Pakistan is geographically distant from Israel, its influence in the Muslim world is significant. Pakistan's military, with its advanced missile capabilities, could theoretically be called upon in a scenario where Israel becomes involved in a wider regional conflict involving countries like Iran, Syria, or Lebanon. Although this remains speculative, it adds fuel to the notion that Pakistan's missile program could have broader implications beyond South Asia.